Now for updates on sports stories from across the globe, Aaron Akirejola joins us now. Aaron, such an eventful weekend, right?
Yes, it was actually. Very eventful, I must say. For a myriad of reasons and across the sporting spectrum, and we'll be getting into several of them. And let's get it started with Formula One. It was actually big over the weekend. It was the British Grand Prix, and Silverstone is a very familiar ground to one man. Lewis Hamilton is his name. Since 2021, he hadn't actually won any single race, and he said he has never cried from a win. That's how important this particular win was for him. And when you look at it, 9. That's the most for any driver in a particular circuit. Dominant performance from him, came from behind at some point, wet, dry surface, but ultimately, the man, the Brit, his final Silverstone performance with Mercedes as he jets to Ferrari next season. And what a way to make it happen. And you look at that, 104, and that's the number of wins he's actually had in Formula One. The man is an all-time great.
One of his first poles this season, right?
What?
His
Since
first finish this
first
season.
win
This season.
since 2021.
Yeah.
So you put that into perspective.
That was,
Verstappen was behind him, then Lando Norris.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, so away from that, let's talk about the fact that big stars are dropping. The likes of Coco Gauff could not stand Navarro on the day. Navarro seems to be her Achilles heel, and also not even just that alone. We're also expecting major ones to happen. So, of course, we'll be looking at if we move on to Wimbledon, thank you very much. Also looking at how things would actually play out, certainly across the plane, as some are still jostling. Iga Swiatek over the course of the weekend also fell by the wayside. And certainly today we're going to be having Rybakina against Kaliskaya. And don't forget the Alexander Zverev against Taylor Fritz. And Novak Djokovic against Rune. So Novak Djokovic will be hoping that he can actually have that particular finish and just cement himself as the greatest of all time. Away from that, later on today, the Ministry of Sports Development will be handing over athletes officially. Those that are present here in Nigeria and those that will be leaving for Germany later on today to the NOC. Because as it stands right about now, one thing is certain, we know that Super Falcons are in Spain right now, preparing for the Olympics, which will be kicking off on the 26th of this month. So a lot is expected from them. But the NOC will be receiving these athletes with the hope that they can actually do themselves proud. And the minister has charged them, and they're very confident that Nigeria will have a great outing this time around. And they're hoping that all the besetting issues that have faced Team Nigeria going to previous Olympics will all be set aside, and we'll be having one of the best outings and one of the most focused outing devoid of controversy and devoid of shame. Let's see how that one goes. Moving away from that, let's actually talk about the fact that yesterday, once again, Marcelo Bielsa and the gang were able to deliver when it mattered the most, as Uruguay stunned the footballing royalty, Brazil, the Seleção, the Samba boys, as they held them to a goalless encounter in regulation time, and they went into penalties and went on to win that particular one. And at the moment, Uruguay will be looking at the draws and be hoping that it still favors them, because it doesn't even get easier from this particular point, as they will be taking on Colombia in the semifinals. Colombia are no means made, because Colombia made lightweight of their opponent, beating them 5-1. Panama, yes, and beating them 5-1, and they'll be hoping that they can actually even turn the screw even further. A lot of people have questioned the scoring ability of Darwin Núñez and several of the Uruguayans, but Marcelo Bielsa is kind of confident that they can actually make it happen. Kudos to them and what is actually happening there. And let's talk about the fact that one man who some people were hoping, praying that he might have a change of heart and probably play for Nigeria, but of course they call him the British French international, Michael Olise, has actually joined Bayern Munich on a 5-year contract for around £50 million at the moment, and there are talks that he will be there for another 5 years, and a man that moved from Crystal Palace, because if you look at his trajectory, he moved from Reading, bought him some 3 years ago in 2021 for £8 million and brought him to London with Crystal Palace. Right now, he's going for 50 million to Bayern Munich. And the Vincent company will be hoping that he can unleash Michael Olise as one of his probably silver bullets to help bring back the Bundesliga. Let's see how it actually goes at Euro 2024. Of course, over the weekend, we saw the quarterfinal pairings being done. And as it stands right now, there were 4. And the likes of Bukayo Saka, Cody Gakpo, they've actually helped their team to major encounters, which will be the semifinals. And the other one will see Spain take on the Le Bleu of France in what is a mouth-watering encounter. A lot is expected from these particular teams. The Euros have not really stunned as much as possible.
Lackluster.
But the Spain versus Germany game is a poster for the Euro 2024. If you want to find out what it is all about, and also the Turkey versus the Netherlands game had fireworks left, right, and center. So I must say that, yes, some teams have failed to come to the fore, the likes of Portugal, the likes of France, the likes of England. But the likes of Turkey, the likes of Netherlands, the likes of Germany, and not leaving out Spain, the best team in the tournament so far, have literally lit up Euro 2024. And long may it continue.
Truth is, Aaron, no matter how much you try to push out the facts,
They've been very good games. Very good games.
Wait now, let me talk. No matter how you try to push out the facts, even global analysts have come to realize that this Euro is very lackluster. These are empirical facts.
Some.
Wait, let me finish, Aaron.
Okay.
You have your time now. 1, goals in the game. Not a lot of games that has goals. General quality and malaise of play. Big stars not coming up and living up to the billing. In all fairness, what has Kylian Mbappe played this Euro?
He has an injury. He's carrying an injury, a broken nose.
What has Kylian Mbappe played this
That's
Euro?
asking for too much. He has a broken
What
nose.
did C. Ronaldo play this Euro? What did the Croatian legend play this Euro? So the games have been very lackluster. Yes, you have outliers. You see, and that's why, I think you go and check the meaning of outliers. Outlier means one in a speck of many. Like the Germany game.
Take an English lesson.
You should take
I'm actually, as a matter of fact, I don't only just know outliers.
Check.
I've read the book, Malcolm Caldwell, Outliers, so I do understand.
Wait, let me finish
and
now.
I'll allow you finish.
What are the outliers? Yes, you saw Spain versus Germany. One outlier. You are saying Turkey versus Netherlands. I will not even call that an outlier. I will call it the reflection of the deplorable nature of football that has gone through the Netherlands. Netherlands is now become a subpar team. To even allow Turkey make their incursion that long. What other game? England versus Switzerland. Is it France versus Portugal you want to call a game? So let's be realistic in all these things. See, we can disagree to agree and agree to disagree, anyone you want. But the Euro, and that's why you see most of even the watchers have even said, oh, maybe because it was very tedious football season, that now they just left the football season, they are playing the Euros, now the league will soon start and all of that, maybe because too much schedule. In fact, we've had people mooted the fact that maybe the too much schedule is killing football as you speak. The overscheduling. But let's call it what it is. Deplorable, constant play. I don't know.
Let me just say something in 30 seconds here. When you say that, it's almost spitting on other teams that have come to compete. The fact is, no one has been given any free pass here because you're a big name or a big team or have big stars. Teams have shown up, they put their heart on the line and made life difficult for other teams. Some teams have been subpar, agreed.
France.
But some have literally ensured that they will be remembered. And that's football for you.
Well, Rufai is not the only one who's unimpressed. I was reading about a petition that has been started online by the German fans who feel that the Germany-Spain match should be replayed because they feel that that extra time should have been a penalty in their opinion. So the Germans are online running a petition. I don't know how successful that's going to be, but
they have a point.
They want that game to be replayed.
They do have a point.
So Rufai is not the only one feeling this way. But away from football, in preparation to the Olympics, I saw a very emotional video of Giannis Adetokounmpo, who is celebrating the fact that, of course, he's going to be part of the Greek national team that's back at the Olympics for the first time since 2008. And for me, it was I connected with it because I watched his documentary that he released on, I believe it was on YouTube, where he came to Nigeria. Well, he says he was coming to Nigeria for the first time with his mom, and they traveled around Lagos. They went to Lagos Island and so forth. So I just feel that he's an athlete whose heart is in the right place, who's got a great career ahead of him, got so much going for him. I also love people who love their country. So I love that he's patriotic about being he's patriotic about being a Nigerian, but he's also patriotic about being Greek and, being able to take Greece to the Olympics. I mean, he was shedding tears. So I thought that was, those are the sporting moments I live for. So those are my highlights.
Okay. First, let's talk about Lewis Hamilton. Historic achievement. This is the 9th time he will win at the British Grand Prix at the Silverstone. This is 104, title that he will be winning. The 104th time that will be winning. And, he wept because the last time he won, as you said, was 2 years ago. 2 years, 7 months, 2 days. And now he managed to win here. So is this... the Mercedes team are coming back, well, perhaps. But this is significant for him because next year, I think, next season, he's going to Ferrari.
Yes, he is.
So he's living with this, realization that he can be on that podium at Formula One, top tier, of the podium. Now, as for Euro 2024, well, I wasn't impressed with England, but somehow England managed to beat Switzerland. And it was a special moment for Bukayo Saka when he took the 3rd spot kick and was able to convert it. In fact, the English team, they did well in the penalty shootout. They converted all the spot kicks and, giving the British, opportunity for great excitement. Now they are in the semi-finals. They're going to meet Netherlands.
Yes, they are.
Now, the thing about this Euro 2024 is that, look, every team at the semi-final stage holds on to the ball. It's a lot of possession. That's why we have had, penalty shootout in almost 2 of them. Now, France against
Spain.
No, France against Spain.
Yes.
That's going to be also very exciting. I think they are playing tomorrow, England and Netherlands on Wednesday.
Yes, they are.
Well, how Spain managed to beat Germany was very surprising. But Spain and Germany, they are both superpowers in football. So one of them is bound to win. And France beating Portugal. The 2 superstars, they didn't really show up when they were needed most. Kylian Mbappe, you see, it's because he's injured, yes. But Cristiano Ronaldo didn't do any better yet. And this is likely to be his last Euro, as he has pointed out. In Copa America, tomorrow, Argentina will be squaring up against Canada.
Yes.
So you didn't mention the Argentina, Canada. You mentioned Uruguay beating, Brazil. And then in another piece of news, Robert Burrow, the rugby legend in England, was buried over the weekend. And there was an outpouring of tribute. He was not just an exceptional rugby player, he became also a campaigner for the motor neuron disease and even establish a foundation. So may he sleep well, Robert Burrow, CBE. Now, finally, let's talk about France. It's 2 weeks to the Olympics.
Yes, it is.
And France is going to host the Olympics at a time when they have a hung parliament, at the time when they just came out of these municipal elections. Would that have any effect on the Olympics? It remains to be seen.
I don't think so.
Given also the concern about security. Some other countries, France has had to approach them to contribute, security men to send their security men. Some have contributed as many as 1,000 to assist, France to have a smooth Olympics. Well, finally, Emma Raducanu is out of Wimbledon. She lost, but she says, well, she's truly inspired and she has no regrets for stepping down from the doubles, the planned doubles, mixed doubles with Andy Murray. That she has a wrist injury and her own interest comes first. But all the same, she put up a good performance that she says, well, gives her hope for the future. I hope so.
Yeah, the truth is this. First, speaking about the Olympics, I don't think politics will have a direct bearing with how the Olympics will actually play out, because this has been in the offing for quite a while. The only problem everyone seems to be, or people are envisaging, has to be the fact that the Olympics will be a security nightmare for the security operatives that will be there. We know they've put in quite a lot and they try to bring more hands on board. But it is almost counterintuitive, being that France are encouraging the entire world to come to Paris, and at the same time, you're fearful for the people that will be there. Because when you open your arms out and say, everyone come and enjoy what we have to show, then you should be ready. But it has been clear that they do not have enough manpower and resources to be able to entertain the whole world, because the opening ceremony was meant to house about 2 million people. We are happy that they've scaled back to about 350,000 because trying to see over 2 million people come to just witness the opening ceremony on the 26th is a security nightmare by itself. And I'm happy that they've been able to...
background of the threat from the Islamic State.
Yes, I'm happy that they've been able to knock reason into their heads, and they've been able to simmer back, and we're hoping that stays that way. And we're still looking forward to Team Nigeria. We're still looking forward to them going to the Olympics, and let's see what becomes of Team Nigeria and several other teams that have been putting in works for 7, 8, 9 years for these games. It will be one of a kind.
That this is an opportunity for you to travel again.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
But go enjoy it.
We'll be there for a ride.
You can't also fault them because when you look historically, Olympics have always been known to be used as a tool for people that have ideological struggles to cause mayhem and harm.
True.
You remember the Munich Olympic incidents.
Typical.
And this is example. When, at a time like this, you have the rise of right-wing nationalism in France, spiraling out of control. You have people with all the other ideological views trying to attack, and you have many things going on. So I also understand what the French are trying to do, because France is very embracing. France used to have a moniker in the 60s and 70s to say, see Paris and die. It was set up as a hub, beauty and all of that. But times have changed. Insecurity is the order of the day in the world today. Prior to 2006, 2007, I can take my water bottle on a flight, international flight. But today I can't do it any longer. So times have changed, and we must also realize that. And when you put in a lot of infrastructure in place as regards security, because you don't want scandals too. You remember the Athens Olympics, most of those monies were plowed into security. So I totally get the angle they are coming from. But it is also incumbent on them to also understand that Olympic is about participation, it's about unification of various races and people should come and enjoy themselves, and that's the most important
thing. Speaking about enjoying themselves, there was a ban initially on athletes fraternizing with themselves, but for some particular reason, they've actually lifted that up, and you are being permitted and even aided because they've actually printed customized contraceptives to actually help athletes.
They have better beds than, was it, which Olympics was that had the
but
terrible
unfortunately, they've not made, the beds are still made of cardboard, so I don't know if it can hold the weight of 2 people.
Yeah, because they're recyclable. I mean, Aaron, you're going to some territories this morning.